Last time out in the Lenovo Pro Series, we were at Watkins Glen International for our one and only locals race on the season, and it ended up being Alexander Lowe, the Sprint Series champion, finally getting his first win of the Pro Series. Can we go back to back here tonight and have a mid-season surge through the point standings? We just gotta see how that unfolds. Juan Rodriguez, the point leader for most of the season, starts 18th here tonight, and then Neil Zonka, second in points, starts 6th. So we could see another big shift in the standings here tonight for race number 10 of the season for the Hoosier 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Hello everyone, it is Nathan here and welcome to Indianapolis Raceway Park ILP, and it's great to be here at one of my home racetracks in this entire community, and this is going to be a fun one. A high lane dominant racetrack, middle to outside, don't really want to be on that very inside lane, kind of like New Hampshire, and gotta see how it all goes down. 50 laps on tap, and like I said, our point leader starts in the back, and second in points starts in 6th, but we gotta see if Alexander Lowe on the pole with that fastest lap last week at Watkins Glen, if he can go back to back here and see if Racing Motorsports can get another win. I believe the 4th if they get one here tonight. And for the first time this season, we got Brendan Remington up here in the booth, the owner of Pacific Racing, and welcome to Indianapolis Raceway Park for race 10 on the season.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Nathan. I've run a couple of races here at IRP in the past, and of course I remember the winner showdown for the Wawa Cup Series, which was held here last year. That one had some pretty extreme tire wear on it, which made things really interesting. And if we're going to see the same thing here, then this is definitely going to be a very fun race for sure for these Lenovo Pro Series guys.
Absolutely, same version that we did for the Wawa Showdown for the Wawa Cup Series last year, and of course I believe that was on 2S, not entirely sure, but this is on 1S, so not quite as much, but still going to be the second half of fall off. So you gotta manage your tires. It's 50 laps, so you gotta manage your tires, and no pit stop here tonight. So gotta see of how that all goes down. Juan Rodriguez is still the points leader, as it's been for most of the season, but he's been slipping up a little bit the last couple of races, and now he only has an 18-point lead over Neil Slanka in second, Jay Wilpton in third, -20. Javier Vasquez, only 7 starts, but has been bad fast this season, -27. Sammy Camara, also -27. Angel Gutierrez in 6th, -29. Emily York Watson is in 7th, -36. BB Ruiz, -40. Harry Anson Jr., -51. And rounding out the top 10 is Matt Oskin, -58. My question to you, Brent, is for these top 2 in the point standings, like Rodriguez and Zonka especially, Neil Zonka starts in the 6th position, but on the outside lane. Juan Rodriguez starts all the way back in the 18th position on the inside lane. So what do those two need to do for one of them to possibly leave here as the point leader?
Yeah, so pretty much what Juan Rodriguez needs to do right now is damage control, because starting towards the back is definitely not ideal, especially when Neil Zonka is starting up in the 6th position, like you said. So the damage control is just making sure that you salvage a decent finish, maybe just sneak your way up into the top 10 to at least make sure that Zonka does not gain as much on you as possible. So that's definitely the strategy here, or at least what you're going to be wanting to look for if you're Juan Rodriguez. I happen to notice 3rd place in points. J.R. Ribbleton does not appear to be in this race today, so that'll throw a wrinkle into things as well.
Yeah, definitely. Ribbleton is actually in the field in the 61, but not in a great spot either. So all 3 of the top 3 are on the outside, and then you got the 72 of Vasquez starting inside the top 10 on the inside. So got to see how it all plays down. And it is Alexander Lowe, last week's winner, trying to go back to back in the Pro Series. And alongside is the number 7 of Sammy Camara, 5th in the point standings. Emily York Watson in 3rd. In the 52, the 63 of Chase McClure. The 37 of Matt Blatt. The 64 of Neil Zonka. Second in the point standings, number 25, Justin Perez. Number 62, one of the cars, Marco Espana. The number 72 of Javier Vasquez. The 17 of Hallie Anson Jr. round out the top 10. The 71 of Carlos Miller and the 88 of Y. McIntyre. The 41 of Angel Gutierrez and the 61 of J. Wilton, third in the point standings. The 23 of Mark Richardson and the number 80 of Greg Victorious Benny. The number 78 of Baby Ruiz and the 33 of our point leader of Juan Rodriguez. The number 87 of Murray Papiani. The number 47 of Colin Jones. The number 27 Brad Weem. The 32 of Sarah Taylor. The 51 of Xander Jeffrey. The number 16 of Joey Hightower. And then we got the number 99 of Lad Prescott and the number 40 of Gail Gronkowski. Alright, Brandon, this is a tricky racetrack to make a pass on. It is possible, but you gotta have a good call for it. Who do you think will win race 10 on the season here tonight at ILP?
I like Alexander Rowe's chances of going back-to-back here. Of course, starting on the pole, coming off the momentum of what was a great race last time out. Obviously, very experienced driver as well. I think he's going to get the win here at IRP.
Not a bad pit, two-time champion this season, multiple time winner on the AG the Trail this season. And we gotta see if he can get another win to his name here tonight. But this still is gonna be crucial, and it will be the number 77 of Alexander Rowe and the number 7 of Sammy Camarinas to the green flag. Race 10 on the season. After tonight, only 7 races remain. And race number 10 is the Hoosier 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Great jump from Alexander Rowe and an even better jump from the 52. A little bit three wide back there. And that is a trouble spot here at ILP, and these guys gotta be very careful in 1 and 2. It looks like they will settle it back down somehow here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. 3 wide never works out well. It looks like that is gonna be good. Top 3 breaking away early on. 63 slides up, 37 slides up. Matt Blackton inside of Chase McClure.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a breakaway going on with the top 3. Chase McClure in the 63, who's run a few races in one of my cars earlier in the season. Now in the...
Oh
and
boy!
We got somebody spinning into the inside wall on the back straightaway. Is that going to bring out the yellow? It looked like they kept it straight.
Oh
no, never mind. We got a couple cars around. That's going to be a caution.
47 around Colin Jones, and we are wrecking again, even more. 61. That is still the points trail. Ribbleton around.
Yeah, that's not going to be good. Got a couple orange cars up there on the outside involved as well.
And the
33, Juan Rodriguez has damage on the right side. Oh boy, if you are Zonka right now, you are liking your chances now as you see the 87 of Murray Pompanani into the pits with heavy damage.
That was our 3-part right there. Had the 25 smack the wall off turn 2. The 40 of Gator Gronkowski spun, went back into the 47, and then they went again into turn 4. I saw that they were all scouting and going 3 wide on the apron, and they wrecked because of it in a multi-car incident, a very chaotic wreck here, and that's going to be our first caution of the night. Was not expecting that whatsoever here at ILP. And it would be Alexander Rowe leading us back to the green flag with Emily York Watson and the number 7 of Sammy Commander out front. Let's go ahead and see what all transpired for the first caution of the night at ILP for race number 10 on the season. 3 wide at Indianapolis Raceway Park does not work. And in the back here, and it ends up being Sarah Taylor in the self-proclaimed cheese car, according to trials at the season opener, turns to the Taco Bell car of Gator Gronkowski, and there's going to be a big hit into the inside wall, slides back up to the racetrack, and unfortunately, the Powerade machine, we got Cheese, Taco Bell, and Powerade all in its wet, and the 47 in last place of Colin Jones gets involved, and that ends up being that incident. But then we see more, and this is not what we initially thought this wreck was for the second part with all these drivers scattering. But the 87 Murray Papiani got into the 51, and check this out, just everyone just reacts as the 32 gets turned by the 16 in a 9-car incident roughly, and the 51 goes up in the air and lands on top of the 61 of J.R. Wilburton, and just several cars involved. The 88, 80, 32, 16, and the point lead of the 33 of Juan Rodriguez, and that was a lot bigger than what we initially anticipated. Basically, 3 wrecks happened in one, a traffic jam here at ILP very early on.
Here you see them going 3 wide out of turn number 2. Sarah Taylor's going to do her best Vinny Scholl's impression and right hook the car in front of her. And the 40 is going to slide back up the racetrack into the 47, who was already running in last. And then just even more chaos here as the 51 goes upside down. You don't expect to see cars flipping on the short tracks, but it does happen. And somehow the 51 is able to keep going. I don't understand how he's still even running after that, but I mean, as long as the car is still in the race, I guess. But there's going to be a couple of cars that are going to be out of the race. I mean, you see the smoke of death pouring out of the 87, so we know for sure the 87 is finished, and I highly doubt that they're the only one.
Yeah, I believe the 16 of Joey Hightower will join him. He's going to try and fix the damage. A 11 car pileup in total with all the wets, and that is going to be very interesting of how it all goes down if we see lap traffic or not in this race. It would be Alexander Rose trying to go 2 in a row like he did in the Sprint Series earlier in the year, with Watson in second, Camaro in third. We'll see if these 3 can hang on and dominate like they did at the start, or if anyone else can challenge them. Let's go ahead and get back to the restart here at Indianapolis Raceway Park for race 10 on the season. Welcome back to ILP here. After a chaotic first handful of laps in the Hoosier 200, we will go back green on lap 8 next time by, with Alexander as our race leader trying to go back to back. Emily York Watson in second, the number 7 of Sammy Camaro in third, the 63 of Chase McClure in fourth, and the Matt Blatt running out the top 5. And I believe no one is out, actually 2 cars out, Murray Papiani and the number 16 of Joey Hightower. 2 cars out from all of the calamity down the backstretch and in 3 and 4. Maybe a single file restart will be what these drivers need here on lap 8 of 50 to calm things down. Alexander will lead us to the green with York Watson behind him. And we will be back green here at ILP on lap 8 of 50.
Once again, good start by the front 3 there, although the 7 did not have the greatest corner. Emily York Watson looking on the back bumper of Alexander Rowe. The 77 might slide up a little bit. That could give the 52 an opportunity off of turn 4. And this is where IRP is very different from a lot of other short tracks, because the preferred line here is around the middle to top of the racetrack instead of down on the bottom. So that makes the racing pretty different to a lot of other short tracks, but of course you still get those beating and banging bump and runs every so often. But this 52 definitely looking very fast since that restart, working on Alexander Rowe, but Rowe has not given it up yet.
York Watson has had a couple of opportunities to win this season, has not got the job done yet, and same can be said for Sammy Camaro. Has 1 run, but could have had more than that up to this point. And like you mentioned, a very interesting racetrack. And we got a lot of these drivers trying the high side, but if you go too high,
Ooh,
you will
to the
smack the
wall.
wall, and that's what Matt Black's gonna do. Now he might get freight trained here with the 71, 41, and the 72. Oh,
Yeah,
again
you
into
know,
the
into
outside
the wall
wall.
again, and that's going to hold up some of the cars behind, including the 72 car of Javier Vasquez, and they're going to be side by side behind with the 78 and the 23 as well. That's Mark Richardson on the outside, and he's going to lose some spots. But yeah, that's just kind of created a domino effect of cars going side by side, then getting into the wall, and that holds up the cars next to them. And there you see the 62 car running the very low side and showcasing why that does not work. And Marco Espino Braddock almost just cut off the 64 car of Neil Zonka, who has lost quite a few spots since the start of the race, but he's still doing better than the 33 car, because, you know, the 33 car got into a wreck. But, oh, Rowe's going to slide up the racetrack considerably here in turn number 4 and not get into the wall, but that's going to let Emily York Watson have a shot at him on the inside lane, and we might have our first lead change of the race here on lap 14.
And that's going to be a lead change. The 52 of York Watson to the race lead. And apparently, here tonight, if you slip up too high, you lose all the momentum and sometimes get into the outside wall. Well, didn't, but he did lose the race lead there. And that might open up a door for Sammy Camara. York Watson goes way high, but it's going to work out for the 52, unlike the 77. The 63 of Chase McClure has joined this top 4 breakaway. Shout out to the 71 of Carson Miller. Been an up and down season for Titan Fury. And they are inside the top 5. Joe Gutierrez. It's been one heck of a start for Racing Motorsports. 3 wins already. And both of the cars are inside the top 6. And unfortunately, it's a tough race if your name is Juan Rodriguez. Got involved in that early melee in 3 and 4. And is sitting all the way in the 21st position. And then meanwhile, Neil Zonka is doing not as good as I expected, but still running much higher in the 16th position. So 16th compared to 21st, that's a few points gained, but Neil Zonka needs to get as much points as possible, knowing that the 33 has some damage.
Yeah, it's definitely not good when you're racing a car that does not have the front end on it anymore. But that's the reality for the 33 car right now. But this 52 car is starting to run away, and Alexander Rose starting to see the pressure from Sammy Camara going for second. He's going to go low to try and take Camara's line away. The 63 is going to try and rip the top there, and that's not going to work out. The 63 is going to get into the wall, Chase McClure, and the 2 cars behind him are gonna have a field day with him if he's not careful there. But the 7 all over the back bumper of the 77. I wouldn't be surprised if Sammy Camara ends up in second here before this is all said and done. But Rowe has been doing a good job of defending his position so far, but that's almost a 2-second lead now, back up to the 52 of Emily York Watson. You said she's had plenty of opportunities to win races and hasn't quite done it yet. Things are looking pretty good for her so far. We still got more than half the race left.
Absolutely. Kansas comes up in mind for me for that 52 car in particular. Watson's been in it for most of the season. Could have won Kansas, but I believe it was the 78 that won instead of the 52 for teammate cars. So, want some revenge? How about a bump in one attempt from Camara, not quite able to get there. And that's kind of what you have to do here, ILP. If someone won't get out of the way, you gotta bump them, and almost did it right there for Camara. 2 hours saying, well, Camara is also someone that we have to keep an eye on this championship, running 3rd, and Littleton has had problems. Neil Zonka, Vasquez is running in 8th, and Rodriguez is in the 20s, so could be a big night for Camara to make her way up through the point standings as well.
Yeah, there's a little saying about bumping on short tracks. 1 bump means I'm here, 2 bumps means that I'm faster, and the 3rd bump means you need to get out of my way. So we might be seeing that 2nd bump here coming soon. for Sammy Camara, because Sammy Camara knows that Rowe is not as fast as the 52 right now. And the longer that the 7 spends behind the 77, the more that 52 is going to pull ahead. The 52, Emily York Watson, gained 0.2 of a second that last lap. So it is in Sammy Camara's best interest, if they want to run down that 52 car, to dispose of the 77 as fast as possible. Chase McClure, who got into the wall not too long ago, is closing in on these two as well. But yeah, Camara's just looking for that opportunity to get past Rowe here. It has not materialized yet, though. I think the 7's going to have to start getting a little more aggressive here if they want any results to happen. Although this is a good run off of turn 4. This could be a good opportunity for the 7 going into 1 if the momentum stays. It's not looking like it will, at least not initially.
And this is ILP is a very tricky racetrack to make a pass on these drives, especially with the unique line, but it is not easy to, it's not hard to notice that the 77 is holding up the 7, and now the 63 is all the back bumpers, so if any way, shape, or form, if Housing Road can get out of the way of, let's say, Camaro and Chase McClure, then maybe these two can close back in, but Watson has a 3-second lead now here at ILP, and I will say, maybe, just maybe, we catch up to some of these slower cars, but they're not really off of the pace as much as I thought. The 51 of Sandra Jeffrey, the 80 of Greg Victoria's Benny, and then the 33 of Juan Rodriguez. Not really off the pace as bad as I thought, but still lap traffic could be a factor if we end up staying green here. And just no one can get past the 77. I give credit to Wally keeping as many points as possible on the table for him, but he's letting that 52 just absolutely walk away with this race win. Shout out to the 71 of Carson Miller inside the top 5. Angel Gutierrez in the 41 and 6. And Matt Blatt all over with the 72 and the 78 of contact. Matt Blatt, Javier Vasquez, and the 78 of BP Ruiz got the 62. Marco Espina running at the top 10. Neil Zonka in 11th. Still going to be a solid point stay with the 33 still in the back part of the field. 17 of Howie Anderson Jr. in 12th. Zayla Taylor in 13th. And then how about Vlad Prescott? So 25th. And all the way inside of the top 14. And running out the top 15 is the 23 of Mark Richardson. But right now, it is a 4-second lead for the 52 of Emily York Watson, and no one can get past Alexander Rowe. But we got some great battles from 7th on bat here at ILP.
Yeah, I think Matt Black is doing to this pack what the 77 is doing to the leaders here. And the 72 car of Javier Vasquez looking to gain some points here on this championship fight in 4th place in points. But here comes the 62 car of Marco Espino Braddock trying to take that spot away from the 72. And how about Sarah Taylor, the other Pacific Racing car with damage, managed to get her way into the top 10. That's a great run there. Yeah, this 72 for sure. Javier Vasquez is looking to gain the most out of all these championship contenders since two of the top 3 have gotten into incidents, and then Neil Zonka has just struggled all day with a lack of pace. So this is a good opportunity for that 72 car.
Absolutely, and we got Lily 7th through, I want to say 18th, all in this group right here, and this is where the tires are starting to fall off a little bit late into this race. It's about a second and a half of tire fall off, and that's pretty significant for a short track on one end. So you can definitely tell that some of these cars are slower than others here, and I think that might include the 72 of Javier Vasquez, Matt Blackton inside as well. And looks like both the Pacific cars look to be fast on the long one, along with Hallie Anderson Jr. And no one can get past, never mind, someone did get past the 7 of Sammy Camara. Finally got past Alexander Rowe.
Camara's 5th in points, so Camara's looking to gain even more, actually tied with Javier Vasquez in points. So this is going to be a big day for Sammy Camara, even if they don't win the race, which, I mean, unless we get a caution, it seems pretty unlikely at this stage. 5.5 seconds up to the 52 of Emily York Watson. I'm pretty sure, again, as long as we stay green for the rest of the way, that she's got this race well in hand. But this second place for Camara will be fantastic, considering, again, nobody in front of Camara in points is even in the top 10 at the moment. So big gains for the 7 car, and that could vault this driver into the conversation for the championship.
Absolutely. We got some wild racetracks coming up still, and of course, the finale's at Talladega, and anything can happen at Talladega. So you got set yourselves up as close to the point lead as possible, and I think it's going to be really tight now with Rodriguez still having a rough day with Zonka, Bibbleton, Vasquez, Camara, maybe even Angel Cadenas. He sits in points and he's winning 6 here tonight. So, great one, and same with Emily York Watson, 7th in points. So, it's going to get tight for this championship, but it's not going to get tight for this race lead with 11 laps to go. The 7 is slowly closing in by 0.2 of a lap now. So, I do think the 7 is faster than the 77, but the bad thing for Camara is that we only have at the line 10 laps to go. But the bright side maybe is we will have some lap traffic, some damage cars in the way that could affect things with 10 laps to go. A dominating performance from the 52 of Emily York Watson, but a pretty decent battle throughout the top 10, especially in the back half during the middle part of this one. But definitely Matt Black is falling off with that damage and the tires as he's trying to hang on to a top 10 spot. But got the 78 and the 72 right behind him. 8 laps to go, 9 to go at the line. And tires are definitely falling off. You can just visually tell here. And once again, shout out to the 71. Up into the 4th place spot now for Carson Miller.
Yeah, Miller's been gaining quite a few spots here over these last couple laps, actually getting past the 63 car of Chase McClure. McClure going to try and make the pass back, but I just got to wonder if the 7 of Camara had gotten past Alexander Rowe a little bit faster to where maybe Camara was still in the rearview mirror of Emily York Watson. If maybe the 7 car would have had something for her, but I mean, as far as it goes now, I mean, the 7 is opening up a gap on the 77, but it's just too much of a gap to make up almost 6 seconds, even with the lap traffic. There's just not enough time left in the race for that to really matter. And even at this point, if a caution were to come out a few laps from now, the race would be over, as the 52 is going to put the 51 of Xander Jeffrey a lap down. And now is about to lap our points leader, Juan Rodriguez, who, has just not had a good day today. And again, it's like a feeding frenzy for the rest of the championship contenders to try and take advantage of that.
Absolutely. 5 laps to go, and like I said, now this is the point of no return. So even if we get a yellow to close everyone back together, it will not matter. So gotta see if what ends up happening with the 52 here. It's hard to make passes here at ILP, and it's hard to get these lap traffic cars to get out of the way. But luckily, they're not going side by side in front of them. But like you said, Camara, if only made that pass on the 77 faster, gained 0.6 of a second last time by. So I think it's going to gain a significant amount of time, but Watson still has a 5-second lead with 3 laps to go this time by. And we gotta see if anything crazy happens. It's been a crazy start and a calm finish, but 3 laps to go for Emily York Watson here at ILP, and it's down to 4.6 seconds.
Yeah, that gap is closing tremendously, but again, there's just not enough time for Sammy Camara to catch up. So I think all Emily York Watson has to do at this point, as we go into 2 to go, is just to get that car home in one piece, not to really mess with these lap cars too much, just kind of run and file with them and take away the rest of the laps, just run this one out to the end. And it looks like she keeps peeking on the inside of the 80, and it's making me a little bit nervous. I don't think you want to be risking it that much. Just stay in line. You've got a 4-second lead. The white flag is now in the air.
That definitely don't want to risk it. Anything can happen on a short track at ILP. I've seen it before, but it's not going to be the case for this 52. Been close a couple of times, in particular Kansas earlier in the season. But 7th in points, Emily York Watson for Giovanni Racing will win at ILP in dominating fashion. Have a 6-second lead at one point. It's going to end under 3 seconds with some lap traffic, but a dominating one from this 52 car, and might have to watch out for her to join the list of candidates for this championship going forward for the final 7 races. Sammy Camara in second as well. Alexander another great one in third, and then Carson Miller in fourth, and Chase McClure will round out the top 5 in that 5th place position. A calm race, to say the least, but it was not so certain if the 52 was going to get the race win because of the lap traffic, and I do think if Camaro got past Alexander a lot sooner, then it would have been a race on our hands. But Watson with the race win, Camaro in second, Rowe in third, Miller, McClure the top 5, Gutierrez in 6th, Espringer Brock in 7th, Hal Anderson Jr. in 8th, that's 9th in points, good for with the top 10. Sarah Taylor in 9th, and Javier Vasquez 4th in the point standings. In 10th, B.B. Ruiz, Colin Jones, Mel Richardson, Brad Weem, Jay Wilburton, Vlad Prescott, Justin Perez. Neil Zonka fell back from 11th to 18th late in this race, so not going to help him in the standings here tonight. Matt Blatt, Wyatt McIntyre, Juan Rodriguez finishes in 24th, or 21st, so Wilburton's going to gain. Vasquez, Camara, Gutierrez, Watson, Ruiz will all gain. Even Hal Anderson Jr., but Zonka and Wilburton will lose some here tonight.
I think Sammy Camara is going to jump all the way to second in points after that run.
That's a high possibility with how close the points were. And unfortunately, the 40 of Gator Gronkowski blew up at some point as well. And Murray Papiani enjoyed how ended in the garage after the early chaos here tonight. But a calm one, but a lot of championship implications here tonight, Brandon. What's the final thoughts here at ILP as we head into the final 7 races of the season?
Yeah, this race was pretty calm for the most part, other than all the shenanigans early in the race around lap 4. But it was some quiet chaos. There's some points chaos that comes with this, of course, with the 5th place driver, Sammy Camara, in points, finishing second, and I do believe will vault to second in points as a result, because of everyone else in the top 5 having really a dud of a day. Only Javier Vasquez ended up managing a top 10 there at the end, and Vasquez was tied with Sammy Camara going into this race. Juan Rodriguez finishing 21st is definitely a big surprise there, just kind of getting up in it. And again, really the goal for him was to kind of like just do damage control, because of the poor qualifying run that really set him back from the start, and then just got caught up in a mess early in the race as well, and it affected him for the rest of the race. So he did not do an effective job at that. However, again, he was fortunate that most of the other guys chasing him also struggled today. So he's probably still going to be the points leader after this is all said and done. But Sammy Camara is going to be a lot closer, that's for sure. But that was a pretty solid race in terms of the racing. There was a lot of good action in the middle of the pack. I kind of wanted to see the race in that pack for a little bit longer, between around 7th and 16th. So that those guys definitely had a great battle. There just wasn't a whole lot going on out front. Once Emily York Watson got the lead, she ran away with it. And again, I wonder how the race would have played out if Camara had not had so much trouble getting by Alexander Rowe because if Sammy Camara gets by Alexander Rowe earlier, those lap cars end up playing a factor in the in who wins the race, and maybe Camara ends up winning by passing Watson through the lap cars.
Absolutely, a lot of what ifs, and Alexander was a two-time champion this year for a reason, and he was a tough customer to get past here tonight, and that hurt Camara, but still a great one from Camara, and like you said, I think we're going to have a very close championship battle now throughout the final 7 races, and can Juan Rodriguez get out of the slump that he's had the last 3 races? We gotta wait and see what ends up happening. I mentioned we have some Tyler here tonight. Well, we'll have more Tyler next week as we are racing at Dover Speedway, and that track has some significant Tylers. So if you were good on the long one here tonight, you might be good on the long one next week, and we gotta see how it happens. There are 7 races to go, and the next 2 races are Dover and Pocono. So gotta see how that all goes down here in the final stretch of the season. Thanks for Blue Wilmington for joining me up here in the booth here tonight, and congratulations to Emily York Watson on the race win. And science for Dover will be happening right now here for race 11 on the season next week.